I mean, you can't regrow a place without the local community, and I think that Homebaked it's been more than important, because you've had the football club on one side of the road prevaricating, changing owners, not knowing whether it wanted to move or stay or move the ground around. So that's created a whole wave of desolation and the lost streets of real people over that side of the road. Then over this side, as we go up the hill to Everton, you've had the housing market renewal strategy, again collapsing loads and loads of, you know, precious Granton roads, and all the V streets have all gone. And in the middle of it, the place that the community treasure, you know, above all else, is Homebaked. It's where the community has found a safe place to gather, to work out what can we do that's for the best, for the most of us, out of what's happened here.
Right, what it is, you've got 3,909 nuns in a nunnery, 34 monks and 1 tramp, okay? Yeah. Now all them nuns are pregnant, so who got them pregnant? The monks or the tramp?
The tramp.
Do you want the answer?
Go on then. The poo.
Well, nosy. He's a nosy boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Nice to see it anyway.
We're the stalking horse to a certain extent. We're the beginning of proving that actually you can create a community business that is sustainable. So when we opened in October 13, there was still a compulsory purchase order over this building, and the board decided that to seize the moment and just go ahead and open. And we could have lost everything. We could have, you know, we could have opened and the compulsory purchase order could have happened and we could have been knocked down.
It was always intended that this would be similar to the Granby Community Land Trust, in that it would renovate the row of 10, 11 houses next to us here. But the demolition line for them never did move. So what we're now designing is a new building of apartments and retail spaces that will be part of whichever high street really takes back off around here.
The very beginning of Homebaked and the initial business plan was that we would sell bread to local people at a decent economic price, that we would have a cafe that local people used and it would become a meeting space, and that we would sell bread wholesale, and the money from that would help subsidise us keeping the prices down in the shop. It very soon began to evolve. A group of volunteers made pies for match day, and it became apparent that actually our pies were the thing that made us special. We developed a wholesale business for bread, but realised that the margin on it was so small that actually we were losing money on it rather than making money to help subsidise. Match days became more important. We sold our pies on match day, we sold tea and coffee. And out of that, our business strategy evolved.
It's very different, you know, you have regulars like Arthur, for example, who probably doesn't actually often buy anything, but he just comes to entertain people. And for me, he is a really important member of Homebaked. Like, he's part of the team. It's really important what he offers to the team. You have football fans, you have tourists, you have workers from the stadium at the moment, you have people that pass by in their taxi and buy a pie and then sit out in their taxi and eat the pie. And then you have, like, you know, the guy from opposite the road who comes to buy his loaf and have a chat.
Our visions are that this is where the post office is, this is where the greengrocers is, this is where maybe a bigger home-baked cafe for match days will be. Don't know yet, you know, and we really are genuinely working that out with all of the people who live around here, and also all of the people who love here and want to see it flourish again.
The community at Lentras was set up because we needed a body that would potentially allow us to co-own land and buildings. There's always stayed that a way of both co-owning, so that we can take some land or some buildings off the property market basically, but also to maybe find a way of having at least a part of our neighbourhood that we own together, so we can find a more secure way of keeping it affordable for the future.
They do this thing called the thing on the wreck, and this is another of their manifestations. They do want to get homemade hands on the recreation ground behind it. For all kinds of things. It could be places to play, places to gather, places for the community to come and be that are bigger than what we have so far in the bakery. So they built this thing, somewhere between a stage and a pyramid. They had a chandelier in this structure, of course, why wouldn't they? And they had a band playing, and everybody danced. And again, it was just so. They pulled it off, you know, and it was one of those, again, those moments of, it's pure home-baked. I don't know, they're a real community business. They are really wise about the money, the equipment, the funding, and all of that. But in the middle of it, they will still do things that have managed to be both pure community activism and art at the same time. It's breathtaking. This is a constantly evolving community business, and it's just been a joy to see it evolve. It's been a joy to see the way it thinks. It's not like any other one. It's not even like any other one I'm involved in. It's pure home-baked, and it manifests itself, and that's been a great thing. It never waits around to be given permission or money or help. It first of all helps itself. So as it says outside, you know, brick by brick we build ourselves.